Courage is when God sees what we are capable of, and He tells us that we are capable of it. Welcome back to the Junior Mints podcast. This podcast is here to help you guys navigate life while also helping you guys see the fun sides of life as well. My name is Finn Lawler. I'm your host. Let's jump right into today's episode. Today, we are going to be talking about, you know, we're going to be talking about what it means to have courage and in life, in decisions, and just overall your faith, just having courage. Like, I don't know, our friend Gideon from the Bible, the guy who led an army to victory, even though he was a little scared to do so. We're going to be talking about all about having courage. So here we go. So, first of all, let me just say God's got your back. God's got your back 100%. When you're presented with like a new opportunity, and you're wondering if you're making the right decision or the right choice, just remember one simple thing. God will be there with you. He'll be there for you now. He'll be there for you up until the day you die, which hopefully you have a long life. Anyway, he's just got your back. And if you're making, you know, it doesn't even matter if it's the right decision. Just remember that God's got your back with whatever you're doing. Um, even when you're going into unknown territory, even when you're scared, which we've all been scared. I've been scared numerous times, but as long as God, as long as I know that God is there for me, which He always is, I can't really complain. Now, think about it. I brought up Gideon before. When Gideon was tasked with leading the army to war, he was intimidated beyond belief. Speaking of belief, though, to help with his fear, he believed in God and he trusted in God, and God gave him the courage to lead that army. But yeah, speaking of belief, Gideon had plenty of belief in God, and then once he did have that belief in God, he felt like he could do anything. Now, the beautiful part, I think, among many parts in here, God knew what Gideon was capable of doing, you know, and he knew what Gideon was doing, and same thing applies to our lives today. When we're unsure of whether we can do something or not, or like when we're wanting to make that jump, we tend to freeze and forget that we are capable of doing it, even if we just learned the skill 2 seconds ago, right? Luckily, like I said just now, God knows what we are capable of. Here's kind of a fun definition of courage that I didn't make it up, but I just kind of formed it in a second. It's that courage is when God sees what we are capable of, and He tells us that we are capable of it. Let me tell you that again. Courage is when God sees what we are capable of, and He tells us that we can do it. So God's basically he's our cheerleader, dude. He's our cheerleader from when we're born to when we die. He's cheering us on, you know. So a little before I get to that, it makes a lot of sense though. It's like when someone tells us that we're capable of doing something, doesn't that kind of just give us like an inspiration that we didn't think we would have? It's like, oh wow, okay. It's like, you know what? I can do X, Y, or Z, or I can do A, B, C. It's just reassuring. And when someone sees what we can do, especially God, when God sees what we can do, it's kind of like, wow, that's really cool. And like I can do more than I think I can. So quick little story time. I had to recently make a choice, and it was, I'll just say it, it was kind of a hard choice to make, and it was a hard choice that made me even question whether the choice was even worth it. In short, I made the I guess tough decision to leave one of my jobs and go pursue something at a full time income. And at first, while I was thinking about it, to be honest with you, I was getting kind of anxious, to make the choice. And I'm having it all over here, but I was getting anxious to make the choice and like worried about whether I'd fail financially. A bunch of stuff really that I don't really need to care about or worry about because it's a bunch of hoo-ah. It's a bunch of hoopla, whatever. At that moment, though, I prayed to God. Actually, that moment and many moments, I prayed to God and I asked Him if I was making the right choice. And after some time and some more thought and prayer, I finally was like, you know what? It's time to leave this job and go pursue this other thing. And actually, it was very recent. It was as I'm recording this, as a couple days ago. Actually, I was like, you know what? I This job isn't really getting me anywhere. Blah blah blah. So I'm just like, you know what? We're done. And so far, it's been a good choice. And I trusted God, and I still trust God. Sure, I was anxious as all heck, but God was kind of like, no, no, no. Philippians 4:6, my son. Don't worry about anything. Don't be anxious about anything, and give it to me. So it's one of those things that took a lot of courage, right? And I wasn't sure whether I wanted to even make that choice. But looking back now, I'm like, why didn't you make that choice sooner? It's like God knew who you could be after you made the choice. So I guess why didn't you make the choice? So yeah, it's just one of those courageous things I had to make. I remember when you're faced with a choice or like a hardship of any kind, whatever it is, right? Just remember Gideon and remember God and remember how God trusted Gideon to make a choice, even if Gideon didn't know how to make the choice, and vice versa. The fact that Gideon trusted God to lead an army, and Gideon was like, "Yo, like, what are you talking about?" But the fact that Gideon trusted God and he succeeded, that just kind of goes to show when you do trust God, you do succeed, and you succeed in ways that you wouldn't probably have known to be possible. So trust in God, have faith, have courage, and He'll show you the way. Anyway, this has been the Junior Mints Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to today's episode, all about courage. If you guys enjoyed it, please drop a like, subscribe down below, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.